Welcome back to Design Bundle's YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal. So I have got 10 different crafts for you guys today. We're going to be using iron-on as well as adhesive vinyl. Now I have already pre-cut all of my stuff out, but I will have a link to all of these files down below. Let's go ahead and start off with our tote bag. I'm doing not worth stealing. I thought this was really cute little saying to put on here because this is literally $1. It looks expensive, a really nice item. You can put your groceries in, things like that, but it's gonna say not worth stealing. I think that's really cute. So we're gonna go ahead and apply this right on here. I've got some transfer tape. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut a piece down, and then we're gonna rub this on and apply it. So let's go ahead and get started. So like I said, what we need to do first is just figure out how big of a piece of transfer tape we're going to need. Now what's nice is I like to start with my biggest project first if you're doing multiple, because we can reuse this transfer tape so I can continue to cut this down. If I make it small, I can't make it bigger. So always recommend if you're doing multiple projects and they're different sizes, start with your biggest one first so that way you can cut that big piece of transfer down. So I'm going to go ahead and peel my corner here, and what you want to do is just start off with a little piece about this big. Okay, we're going to fold down. Doesn't have to be super perfect, just like this. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to just start right up here at the top, just a little bit above, and I'm going to smooth that out. I'm actually going to get this out of my way so that way we can see what we're doing. And I'm going to go ahead and just line this up just like so. I'm going to smooth everything out. So what I'm going to do is a pushing pulling motion. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull this back, and while I'm pulling this, I'm going to push with this other hand. So I'm going to push and pull. All right, just like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the center and work my way out to make sure I don't have any bubbles. Now what you want to do is flip this over and then just kind of peel at an angle. For something like this, you really want to use a permanent vinyl. Just trying to peel that away just like so. So now we're ready to attach this, and I'm actually going to go ahead and remove this little tag. That way it's out of our way. All right, just like so. We're going to get everything out of our way. So everything's nice and smooth. We're ready to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and center this. And what I like to do is fold it like a taco. So if you just kind of fold it like this, we're going to go straight down. All right, I think that looks good. Now I'm going to go ahead and rub everything out. All right, so let's go ahead and peel this at an angle. So I'm just going to hold it flat and peel. And there you have it. How super cute is this bag? Super easy to make. You could do front and back if you want to. Like I said, highly recommend doing like a permanent so it's going to stay. Lots of different ideas. You can also personalize this if you wanted to. We have lots of great font over on the channel. So you could definitely personalize this as well with someone's name, but this would make a great Christmas gift as well if you were going to do, you know, a little Christmas quote or something like that. So there is craft number one. All right, so let's go ahead and work on craft number two. So number two, I've got this little sticky here on the back, and like I said, they're really easy to pull off, like so. So you don't have to fuss with anything. This is such a great product, like I said, to be able to remove. Sometimes those get really yucky to deal with. Now, I want to show you guys something that I recommend. When I'm working with that transfer tape and I want to save it, I just take a corner here and I stick it on my counter while I'm working. So that way I'm not having to keep applying it back to the backing or anything like that. And as I need a piece, I'll cut it down. So once again, I'm going with my next biggest piece so that way I can keep the size and I'm not having to cut it down right away. So let's go ahead and grab our next piece. So for this one, we're going to do this little quote right here. It says, "I only have a kitchen because it came with the house." So I think that's really cute. So we're just going to go ahead and pop this on here just like so. We have tons of farmhouse quotes and things like that. You could do Christmas quotes, fall quotes, all kinds of stuff on here. This would make a great housewarming gift as well. So like I said, you could cut on one side and then have your cute little saying on the other. All right, so let's go ahead and apply this one here. So we're going to go ahead and take that same transfer tape. I don't need to cut this down. I can keep going. So I'm going to go ahead and just go down like a taco. And then let's just smooth everything out. So I'm just going to go ahead and rub, rub, rub. All right, so once again, we're just going to go ahead and fold it over at an angle and then peel it right up. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing like I did last time. I'm going to go ahead and hover right above and then fold it up like a taco and get that about where I want it. Smooth everything out, and I'll rub from the center out. Now, because of this surface, it's going to want to try to pop back up with you. Some pieces may want to do that, and that's okay. Just go nice and slow. With something like this, you definitely want a permanent because it's going to be washed, and you want to definitely make sure that it sets for around 48 to 72 hours before you either sell it or give it away to somebody, because that adhesive needs time to bond to the product so that way it does not come off. And there you have it. How super cute is this? Like I said, lots of different quotes that you can do from fall, Christmas, housewarming gift, farmhouse, lots of stuff that you can do with this. So I really love the way that this project came out. For our next project, let's go ahead and switch over to an iron-on project. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys one of these. So there's a side that has a little tag and then the front. So let's do the front of this one. But like I said, you do have other options whenever it comes to these mitts. You just have to pay attention because every year they change it up. Each season they have different stuff in stock. So the one that we are using today is this one right here. So it says, "Life is what you bake it." I think it's super cute. This would be great for a Christmas gift or any sort of time of the year. So once again, another great housewarming gift. So what you're gonna go ahead and do is line it up just like so. Now the very first thing that we wanna do before we actually press it is we want to pull out any sort of moisture. When you're working with cotton, you always wanna make sure you do that. I'm just gonna slide that in there and give it a quick press for around 5 seconds or so, something like that. So that looks good to me. All right, so you're going to notice that color change. So it looks a little darker. This is because this is now kind of wet, if you will. It's pulled out that moisture. So that color will definitely go back down to normal as soon as it dries. So once we kind of let that cool just a little bit, we are going to be ready to pop this right on top, just like so. So we just want to kind of center this up until we are happy with it. That looks good. What I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to slide this right in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop this over here and press. So I'm just going to go ahead and press for around 10 to 12 seconds. You want it around 305. As you guys can see here, how super cute is this? This is going to be a great gift. And I mean, it was only $1. This looks really, really good. Once again, lots of different ideas whenever it comes to, we have tons of different cute little quotes like this. So definitely check those out. Next up, while we're still at the iron-on, let's do these super cute socks. So I'm going to go ahead and get our packaging off here like so. I'm just going to cut off these little pieces of plastic, just like so. Once again, you could buy the 1 pack, but this is great because if you're going to sell them, this gives you 3 of them. So this is, you can sell these and you have less than $1 in each of these sets here. All right, so let's see. I think I want to do, I'm going to do the pink pair, okay, because I'm a fan of pink. So what you need to do is we need to smooth everything out now because we need it to be flat on the bottom of the sock. So all you're going to do is just, you're going to sit there and play around with it until you can really get the bottom of that sock like so. Just like that, all right? Now, what you want to really use for this is a stretch. So if you've ever heard of HTV stretch, so Caesar has one, Cricut has one. Stretch is going to allow it to stretch. So I do highly recommend that you use a stretch HTV. So once you've got the bottom of your sock like this, we're going to go ahead and repeat that same process to the other sock. So now that we have these nice and flat, let's go ahead and press them. So once again, we want to make sure that we pull out that moisture. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get these nice and flat like so. You may need to hang them off of your press or something. We're just going to go ahead and pull out that moisture as well as smooth out any sort of wrinkles or something like that. All right, so I think we've got this nice as we can get it. I'm going to go ahead and press it once again for around 5 seconds just to smooth that out and get out any sort of moisture. So once I'm happy with that, it looks good. Now I may get a little bit of wrinkles in there and that is okay. So let's go ahead and get my pressing pillow so I'm ready to go. I'm going to use my bigger pressing pillow just so I can just set it right here on top, lay my socks, and I don't have to worry about anything being perfect. So now that we have these nice and flat, we're ready to apply our iron-on. So what you want to do is, usually your feet are kind of sitting like this on the couch, right? Or wherever you're at, your chair, and that's how you're going to read them. So we want to make sure that we have our design in that direction, just like so. So we're just going to put one on each side. Now, if the sock is particular and it says it's a right sock and a left sock, pay attention to which one you're doing because your right foot's going to have, if you can read this, left would be bring me a cold one. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this down. So I've got both of these designs like so. I love these. These are great for Christmas as well, stocking stuffers and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this on. Once again, I've got my pressing pillow just because we're going to have those seams. I'm going to press it again for around 10 to 12 seconds. You can do these same crafts with your Cricut Easy Press as well. All right, looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my socks over here and just let them cool for just a second. This is a warm pill, so I'll let those cool down just a second. All right, so once you think they are cooled down enough, you're just simply going to go ahead and take a corner and peel. All right, I'm going to do the same thing to the next one. And there you have it. How super cute are these? These are a ton of fun to make. And like I said, you get 3 for $1. But you can pick these up really anywhere. But if you are doing a Dollar Tree craft, I definitely recommend that you guys try this out. Once again, a very great stocking stuffer, as well as if you're creating a gift basket and things like that, these are great to go in there as well as another great item to sell. So there you have it. Super cute. Next up, let's work on our cell phone case as well as our candle. So first thing I want to do with the candle here is remove this label. Once again, it is a very easy label to remove. Doesn't leave a lot of residue. I love stuff like this, especially if you're going to regift it and you're creating your own or sell them. So nice and perfect. And these candles actually smell great. Now, as for my packaging here, I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and cut away this packaging just like so. Once again, these are great items for gift baskets and stocking stuffers. All right. So we've got our cell phone case and our candle. Now, one thing that you do want to do with the candle is clean this with some rubbing alcohol first or a clean cloth. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Just like so. It's going to remove any sort of oils or debris. So let's go ahead and get started. So for the candle, I have this Grace Changes Everything. And then for the phone case here, I have Prayer Warriors. I thought that would be really cute. You can also do these in colored vinyl as well. So let's go ahead and start with our candle. So something I recommend for something that rolls like this is you can actually take 2 scraper tools, 1 on each side to help hold that. And sometimes you can even get away with 1. So you can simply take 2 like this, 2 of the same size XL if you want to, like this. And that's going to really help hold that. Or if you have a scraper tool like these, this little centerpiece, sometimes you can just set that right in the center and that's going to help you as well. So that's just a little tip from me. You can also use like a hand towel, wash rag, and things like that to really help. So let's go ahead and start with the Grace Changes Everything. We need to go ahead and get this on transfer. And I'm actually going to go ahead and just cut down this little piece that I have right here. Now, yes, I still have my extra hanging over here, but I do have one more big one, so I'm going to wait before I cut it down. So I did have this excess that I trimmed off a while ago. So we're going to go ahead and get that corner started just as usual. And like I said, if you want to pick up that contact paper from the Dollar Tree, then you're going to be able to accomplish all of this. The Dollar Tree is even selling vinyl now. They sell iron-on as well as adhesive vinyl. So you could actually just pick everything up from the Dollar Tree. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and figure out about where I want this to be, making sure if there's any sort of lines like this, I want that to be in the back. So, and if there's 1 on each side, I'll make sure they're on the sides. And then I'm going to go ahead and line this up, going down like a taco, making sure it's straight, and then going down, just like so. So I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to use my fingers to rub everything in, just like so. And then I can take a little scraper tool here as well and really rub that in. Now for this, since this is not something that gets washed, you can use removable vinyl as well. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get that at an angle, just like so. And we're just going to simply pull just like that. And how super cute is that? So we changed it from Karma to Grace. And I really love the way that this came out. Once again, another gift basket gift, stocking stuffer, things like that, or just a great gift to give to somebody or make for yourself. So I really love this one as well. All right, so let's move this one out of the way and let's work on our cell phone case. This is a rubber. There's plastic ones, but this one in particular is rubber, and that is okay. Another thing that you can do is you can apply some cardstock inside of here and then put it on your phone, like the patterns, to really give it some pattern, and then have this on top as well. So that's just another idea. But the color of this, so say for example, if my phone is pink or teal, that's the color of my background. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out about where I want this to be, like so. I'm going to go ahead and take, hopefully the same piece will fit on here if not pretty much fit. So it's just missing a little piece of the W, and that's okay. So that's something I like to point out too, is you don't have to worry. If it's just a little piece hanging off, but it's attached, you're okay to still use that same piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and really rub this in just like so. One thing that I do recommend is if you have a cell phone that fits this, definitely pop that on. That's going to help this be nice and smooth. Because of the rubber, it's going to want to move around. So I highly recommend that you get some dish towels or something like that. Couple scraper tools, you can kind of line those up as well and pop those in. See how that's kind of holding it like that. So that's another little tip, just to kind of give it some support as you go to rub this on here. So the way that I'm going on here is like this. So now we're ready to go. We're going to go ahead and just peel this at an angle, and we're ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and line this up where I want it. All right, so I think I'm happy with this right here. I'm gonna go ahead and smooth everything out and then just rub, just like so. How super cute is this? I'll try to hold it up against this white background for y'all, but how cute is this? I really love the way that this came out as well. Now this is something that you can also use on a sign, a t-shirt, lots of different things that you could do with these quotes, but just to show something else that you could do with them is adding them on phone cases like so. Now let's go ahead and work on our wine glass and our mug here. So these are both round surfaces, but I will tell you that whenever it comes to beginner-friendly projects, your coffee mug is gonna be a lot more beginner-friendly than your wine glass. Your wine glass is not only just round this way, it's also curved in these directions. Usually a coffee mug is just one nice round surface. So these are really easy for beginner-friendly. Wine glasses are more of a intermediate to difficult, so definitely wanted to point that out. But I'm gonna give you guys some tips today. One thing is get yourself a hand towel, wash rag, like I said, something so that way you can lay these over. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your scraper tool or something kind of prop like that. You could use a pair of scissors, anything that's gonna kind of help hold and stabilize that. When it comes to your wine glass, same thing. So we're gonna go ahead and prop this, and then I can go ahead and take those scraper tools and things like that to really kind of prop that over. Could also get one on the back side just like so to really stabilize this. So that's just another little tip from me. So let's go ahead and start off with the easy one, which is your coffee mug. Now the thing about making a coffee mug is, once again from the Dollar Tree, several different ones to choose from. But the thing that you wanna know is, okay, if you're making this for yourself, do you hold it in your right hand or do you hold it in your left? Because obviously you want it on this side of the mug. So if I hold it my right, I want it on this side of the mug, which is how I hold my mug. Same thing if you're gonna be selling them, you know, and somebody says left or right, that's what you wanna do. Or if it's gonna be a gift for somebody, you know, try to figure out which hand do they use. You know, they're right-handed, left-handed. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply mine right here on this side. So the very first thing that you wanna do, just like before, is use some rubbing alcohol and a clean cloth to clean that surface. All right, so let's go ahead and get something propped under here. I'm just gonna use this pair of scissors here, just like so. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take this super cute design. This is the one that I'm using right here today. And it says, a day without coffee is like, just kidding, I have no idea. So I think that's really cute. Once again, there's Christmas quotes, there's fall quotes, stuff for teachers, nurses, all those kind of things. So definitely check those out, but I really like this one. And all of these are plus credits. So if you guys are a plus member, you guys can get these for 1+ credit right now. This time I do need to cut down, so I actually need these scissors for a second. I am gonna go ahead and cut down a little piece like so. I should have enough steel for my clipboard with this big piece here. So I'm gonna put that back, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just cut down like this. All right, so I think this should be enough. So let's go ahead and pick this one up again. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lay that down just like so. So as you guys can see, so far I've used the exact same one except for, because it was the big piece I cut down, this was that scrap, I've used the same piece. So it really does go a long ways. So I'm gonna go ahead and just rub, get this to adhere just like so. All right, we're gonna grab it, we're gonna flip it over. Just like that. Now, once again, make sure you've already cleaned this with alcohol and all of that. I'm going to get those scissors to stabilize my coffee mug. Just like so. It's just something to kind of help grab it like that. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is fold this like a taco, just like before, and I'm going to get it nice and centered, just like this. And what I like to do is I like to go right down the center, and then I'll kind of work my way just like this, nice and slow. All right. I think that looks good. So once I have that, I'll go ahead and take my little tool here and rub everything down. Okay. So once we are ready to go, I'll start working on one piece at a time. And anything I need to continue to work down, I'll get that as I go along. So you just don't want to force anything. If something's wanting to curve, you can wait to push it down as you're going along. All right. So once it's off, then you can go back and kind of push. I like to do that with my fingers. Just push, push, push everything down. Once again, whenever it comes to something like this, you want to use a permanent vinyl, and you want to let it set for 48 to 72 hours before it gets washed. But look how super cute this is. I love this mug. This is definitely going to be used by me a lot. Dollar Tree, $1. You can sell these. A lot of times these go for around $10 or more. So lots of good investment in these. And once again, such a great gift. All right, next up is our wine glass, and I'm going to go ahead and prop this up. So like I said before, I'm going to go ahead and use both sides. Get my scraper tool right underneath. And then I'm going to clean off my glass just like this. All right, so let's go ahead and take that same piece I just used on the coffee mug like this. And let's go ahead and pick up this one right here. So for this one, it is wine and true crime. That is something that's obviously very trendy right now. This is with the Caesar PSV, and this is glitter. So you guys can't see that, but this is red glitter, and I thought it would be cute, red, you know, for true crime. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just pick this up really quick. Use our tool to go ahead and rub it. Now, one thing that you can do, since, for example, this is not like one big solid design, I can actually cut this down into layers, so I could actually apply wine, you know, the center, and then thyme. So I could actually do this in 3 separate steps. Or what you can do is you can really cut this thing up. So we're not going to use this one again. We're not going to be able to. We're going to flip it over. Okay. One thing that you can actually do is spray this with rubbing alcohol. You can go down like a taco and rub it out. That is a wet method. Another thing that you can definitely do is cut this. So what you want to do is get you several really good cut marks on it. So going all the way up to it without cutting your design, this is going to allow this to kind of fold a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some of this off so I'm not working with so much. And I'm just going to go ahead and continue to cut me some lines in here. Once you think you're happy with that, everything looks good, we're going to go ahead and go down like a taco, figure out where I want it, go down like a taco. All right. And then, like I've talked about before, start from that center and work your way out. So I'm going to go ahead. So now that my stuff has, you know, cut lines in it, it just makes it a lot more easy to bend around. So once again, if you feel like anything's buckling or whatever, you could stop, peel one side, and then work the other side. But just putting those little lines is truly going to help big time. So it just really helps kind of get everything together. So this is really good. So that came out nice. So that's a very beginner-friendly tip. But like I said, if you are a beginner, don't recommend working with a wine glass as your first. Any crafter will tell you that, as it is a little bit more challenging. They are nice. I love the way they came out, but they are a little bit challenging. So there we have it. Once again, use my fingers to press, 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 really pressing this in. Let it sit, you know, 48 to 72 hours. And there you have it. How super cute is this? I'll pop this white down in here so you guys can see. Hopefully see that a little better. So you guys can see how nice that came out. Once again, such a great gift. Something that I would recommend for this, get your Dollar Tree socks, get your wine glasses, and create the wine socks, you know, that says, if you can read this, bring me my wine. Along with the wine glass would be a ton of fun. Or even the quotes that are true crime on the socks, or even a t-shirt with these, a whole little theme would be super cute. So once again, love the way this one came out as well. For our last 2 projects, I saved these for last because we're actually going to use paint. So these ones are going to involve a few more steps, so I saved them for last. I love crafts like this because they're a lot of fun because there are a few more steps involved. So something I want to point out is you can also get paint from the Dollar Tree. They're in tubes. So you guys can definitely, once again, get all of your supplies. They have paintbrushes and things like that. So keep in mind, you can definitely pick up all of those things from the Dollar Tree. But the paint that we're using today is StarCraft chalk paint in black. This is new. So StarCraft has came out with their own and I wanted to test it out. So I thought I would test it out with you guys today. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we have a canvas and a picture frame. This one is not going to be painted. This one is going to have black cardstock inside, and we're going to apply the vinyl. So I'm going to do this one first. For our canvas, we're actually going to cut off that canvas, and we are going to apply our vinyl, and then we're going to apply it. We're going to put this back together. Now you can use a staple gun, you can use a hot glue gun, but you can also use push pins. So if you can get push pins from the Dollar Tree, you can use those. I know they have glue sticks and things like that, so you can definitely do that, or some sort of adhesive. You don't have to use a staple gun. Now today I am going to use a staple gun, but like I said, there's other ways of doing this. For our clipboard, what we're going to do is I'm going to paint this entire thing black, and then I want to apply this pattern vinyl on the back here. So I think that will be super cute as well. So let's go ahead and start off with our picture frame here. So what we're going to go and do is remove our plastic. The file that I'm using for these two right here are exactly the same, just to show you, one in white, one in black, picture frame and canvas. This one's super cute. It says craft room, where the supplies get purchased, but the crafts might never get finished. Am I right? I think that's a ton of fun, so I think that's really cute. So let's go ahead and start off with a picture frame. Like I said, I've already got that opened up. So what we're going to do is just simply open up our back here. And then we're going to remove this piece right here, as well as I'm not going to be using this piece here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I can actually just measure this piece of glass and cut this out, or I can just line it up. So I'm going to take my piece of glass here, just going to line it up with my cardstock. And then I can take my scissors, just like so, and trim this out. So nothing fancy, you can simply just do just like so. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut right up here. All right, just like that. So now we can go ahead and double check our fit and that everything will be good to go. So I'll put my glass back, all right? And then I will go ahead and lay down my cardstock. So I think everything's gonna fit good there. So you guys can see now what that's looking like. So what you want to do before you close this back up is you want to make sure that you go ahead and take your little cloth here and make sure there's no fingerprints on the inside, because that's going to show through. We're going to get that cardstock right in here. I'm going to make sure to remove any sort of glitter. Get that in there, and then I'm going to get this back right on here, just like so. There we go. All right, so looks good, right? So now what we're going to go ahead and do, the white one is going to go on here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up with our transfer tape. So I've got that right here. I'm going to go down and rub out. So let's go ahead and take our tool here and rub this. Here we go. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just line everything up. I'm going in like a taco, so I like to just hover right on top until I'm happy. And then I'm going to go ahead and just rub it down. So I'm working from the center out. So here we go, just like so. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and rub that in. I'm not pushing too hard because we are working on top of that glass. So there you guys have it. Super cute. This one obviously is a picture frame, so it comes with a stand, and you're able to just pop this up on a shelf, your countertop, your desk. Once again, great gift for Christmas, housewarming gifts. You can do somebody's name. You could do the Thomases, all sorts of stuff. You could do our nest, a farmhouse quote. I really love the way that this one came out. Now, the thing about a picture frame, it gives you two different options too. You can do it horizontal or vertical, whichever way that you want to create your sign. So there is number one. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one out of the way. And now let's go ahead and start off with our canvas. All right, once you have your knife blade and your ruler here, you're just simply going to, I like to take the Cricut ruler here and prop it up to really, cut this, just like so. Now, if you don't have a Cricut ruler, you could possibly even get away with this with using a regular ruler. Just be super safe for your fingers. You can also try to get a line started and go in with some scissors as well. So what you're going to do is just go ahead and cut this entire canvas off. So once you have this off, what you're going to do is you want to smooth this out, because this is where our design is going to go, right there in the center like so. You don't have to worry about too much of this outer, because we're actually going to cut some of that off. But you notice right inside, there's actually like a little hidden gem here. So we're going to go ahead and paint this. So the back, you don't have to worry about it. It's going to be hidden anyways. If you want to, you know, go through here and cut any of this off and really work to get this off, you definitely can, but it's in the background and you don't have to. So I'm going to go ahead and just clip off anything that's going to be seen from this direction. So if anything is hanging out on the sides, that's going to be your pieces you want to cut away. Everything else, it's fine. It's in the back. You're not going to see it. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is paint this piece and set it aside so it can dry. And in the meantime, I'm also going to go ahead and paint the front and back of this. That way it's ready to go as well. All right, so now that we have painted everything, everything has dried. I've done front and back here. Now don't worry about, you could tape these off, but honestly with chalk paint, you can scrape this off. A little, you know, wet paper towel or, you know, like a little wipey or something can usually just wipe that right off. So I wouldn't worry about taping all of that off. You could definitely easily get rid of that. Now keep in mind that whenever you go to transfer this on, this transfer tape can pull up some of this paint. So what I recommend, if you notice, I've saved this project for last. So we've already used this like 8 times, 7 times, somewhere around there. So this has lost some of its stick. Now, if it's a fresh piece, what I recommend that you do is stick it to your t-shirt. You could stick it on your pants, you know, if you've got a towel or anything like that. So what you're wanting to do is get rid of some of that stick. So I'm just going right here on top of my pants, on my hoodie and things like that, right? So I'm just getting rid of some of that stick to where it is enough to pull this up, but not going to tear up my paint, okay? So let's go ahead and start with this project first. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna fold over my paper because I wanna make sure that I'm not going to get my paper on here. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is get this down like a taco. And then we're going to take our scraper tool here and we're going to go and pick this up. All right, so we are ready to go. So like I said, I'm actually going to apply this to the back. You could definitely do the front if you want to, but I think it's going to be way cuter on the back here. So I'm going to go ahead and just line this up here. I'm going to flip it around to where I can see it. And I'm going to go ahead and line this up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be rubbing where the words are. I'm not going to rub on the outside. I'm just going right where the vinyl is. So that way I'm not going to risk pulling up any of that paint. So what we're going to do is I'm going to very carefully take this at an angle here. And if I need to go back and stick this. So the same thing, since this is going on top of paint, I want to let it dry for a good, you know, 24, 48 hours. To really adhere to this. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take my fingers and just press everything in. So you guys can see I didn't lose any of my paint because I did kind of de-stick that just a little bit. So now you guys can see how super cute this is. This would be cute too if you use your Cricut in Design Space and you did an outline border around this. That would be something that would be really cool in white to really get it to pop. Or if you did it in the white adhesive vinyl, you could really make that pop off of this black, like a chalkboard is basically what this looks like. But as you guys can see, this project came out super cute for $1. All right, our last project here is our picture frame. So I've just kind of trimmed off any of this to make sure it's not popping through on this side. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and put this onto our canvas first. You could also use iron-on with this, so you could definitely do iron-on or adhesive vinyl. So let's go ahead and apply that first. So let's go ahead and get our transfer sheet once again, one last time. And I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. We want to center it up in here. We're not worried about this outside edge because we're going to trim that away. So what we're going to do is just going to center this up in here, just like so. Once I'm happy with it, I'll kind of lay it down. And then we're going to rub. Now, you can use permanent for this. You can use removable. You can use patterns because it doesn't matter. You're not washing this and it's not going to be, you know, outside. This is an inside sign here, so you could definitely use removable. So once I have it on here, I'm going to go ahead and peel at an angle. Now you can also paint your canvas first and then, you know, do, say for example, if I painted this black, I do white, so on and so forth. I could paint it pink and then still do black. So definitely keep that in mind as well. Next thing you want to do is we're going to take our frame here, the painted side up, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this nice and lined up. Once I have it lined up, I'm going to grab it, keep a grip, flip it over, and I'm going to get my first staple in. Take my staple gun and staple. So what we're doing is we're avoiding the staples that are already there. So you may just need to kind of peek in, see where your staples are. You want to pull nice and taut, not super tight. You don't want to stretch the canvas, but you also don't want it to be, you know, buckling in. So you're going to get 1, 1, 1, 1 all the way around, and then we can add the extra. So same thing, I'm going to kind of pull nice and taut, put a staple, and if you need to peek to see where your staples are, you can definitely do that. And pull up. You can double check before you keep going just to make sure everything looks lined up, and it does. So now I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to get one over at my corner, and I'm going to repeat this for all of the corners. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and cut off the excess. So I recommend that you do this last so that way you don't cut yourself too short. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull in, and you're going to have like a little bit of a lip there. You just want to do that to where nothing is hanging in the front. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up and cut. And there you have it. How super cute is this reverse canvas? They are a ton of fun to make, all sorts of different ideas. I've made some for my bathroom, tons of different things. I've made them for housewarming gifts, Christmas gifts. I've personalized them with people's last names and stuff like that. So another great item, not only for yourself to gift as well as a selling item. What you can do to cover up your back is you can also, you know, say for example that I took a piece of this black cardstock, I could go all the way around and I could actually staple that down or apply some adhesive to cover that up. So that's just an option there if you were going to sell these. And there you have it. 10 different crafts from the Dollar Tree with your Cricut. Let me know in the comments down below which one is your favorite and if you're going to try to recreate any of these. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.